welcome everyone for coming. Roll call, please.
Lyndon Baines.
Here.
Charles Cooper.
Here.
Becky Duncan.
Here.
Vanessa Matthews.
Here.
Elizabeth Pendergrass.
Here.
All are present.
Okay, reading of the minutes, please read the minutes of the last meeting.
Be it remembered that the Board of Mayor and Aldermen met in regular monthly session Monday, October 9th, 2017, at 6 p.m. at City Hall in Jamestown, Tennessee, when the following proceedings were had and entered of record to wit. Presiding, Darlene Mundy Davis, Mayor, Dale Dishman, Recorder, and on a roll call by the City Recorder, the following members of the Board present: Lyndon Baines, Becky Duncan, Charles Cooper, Vanessa Matthews, and Elizabeth Pendergrass. The Mayor called the meeting to order and welcomed everyone for attending. So,
Okay, do I hear,
not finished. The minutes from the previous meeting was read, and on a motion by Lyndon Baines, seconded by Charles Cooper, the Board approved the minutes from the previous meeting with corrections. Mayor Davis then gave an update on projects and on the bluegrass at the community center starting October 13, 2017 for the season. She then asked Steve McCoy, Public Works Director, to give updates on the community center roofing project, reports of the airport project. Tom Bennett with Bennett Associates gave the engineer report. Bob Lane, the city building inspector, then gave building inspector and code report. Bailey Allred, city attorney, then gave the attorney report. On a motion by Elizabeth Pendergrass, seconded by Charles Cooper, the board voted on a roll call vote, all for, none against, to contract with Tom Bennett with Bennett Associates as the engineer for the CDBG sewer rehab project. On a motion by Lyndon Baines, seconded by Becky Duncan, the board on a roll call vote, all for, none against, approved the proclamation for chiropractor month as being October. On a motion by Charles Cooper, seconded by Vanessa Matthews, the board on a roll call vote, all for, none against, approved the financial statements for September. On a motion by Lyndon Baines, seconded by Charles Cooper, the board on a roll call vote, all for, none against, approved to pay the monthly bills for September. On a motion by Lyndon Baines, seconded by Charles Cooper, the board on a roll call vote, with Becky Duncan recusing herself from voting, added best friends to the agenda. On a motion by Charles Cooper, seconded by Vanessa Matthews, the board on a roll call vote, with Becky Duncan recusing herself from voting, approved to continue to pay gas and water for best friends until matters were resolved with their building. With no further business, on a motion by Charles Cooper, seconded by Lyndon Baines, the board voted to adjourn.
I hear a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, motion's been made to approve the minutes by Councilwoman Vanessa Matthews and seconded by Councilman Charles Cooper. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Okay. Motion carries. Okay. At this point right here is the time usually for our grievance from our citizens, but we have a guest tonight, and we will get to that in just a moment. But we have a guest tonight, Senator Yeager, and my friend and yours, and I'm sure everybody will be very interested in what's going on at the Senate, sir. So if you would take the microphone. Yeah, and face that camera.
Oh, gosh, I'm on TV, all right. Well, I appreciate you letting me come. I know you've got an agenda ahead of you, so I've really come to listen. I like to get out and visit my cities and counties in my district, and hear what you have to say and what you need, because as your legislator, your senator, then I'm in a position to try to help you wherever I can. And I follow you closely in the local media or in the local paper, what you do, and I'm really pleased to see that your successful application for the Community Development Block Grant. That was very competitive this year, and they were not able to give everybody a grant. I think only about half of the applicants were funded this year, much less a percentage than last year, and that speaks well of you We had a very well-prepared and a competitive grant, so you ought to be complimented for that. And the session this year will start on January the 9th. I expect a short session. We'll be out by the 1st of May. Since this is Governor Haslam's last year, I don't expect that the administration will bring a lot of bills. I think his emphasis will be to bring more legislation to help us deal with this opioid pain medication crisis epidemic that we face in this area and across the state. So I know I've been talking to him a little bit about it, and I expect to carry some of those bills for them. So that will probably be the emphasis of what the administration will bring. Of course, I chair the State and Local Government Committee, which anything that has to do with cities comes to my committee. So I try to watch very carefully for bills that put unfunded mandates on our cities or any unintended consequences. And I want any time that you have a question about a bill, that feel free to call me or email me and let me know, because I'm not going to knowingly support something that's going to hurt any of my communities. So I want to encourage you to just stay in touch with me, and I will you too. It's just very important that we make sure that we give the cities the authority they need to run their affairs, and that we don't burden them with unfunded mandates. But as I said, I expect it to be a short session this year, and I'm looking forward to it. If there's any way we can help you with grants, let us know. Many of you have been down. We do the annual grants conference at Rome State. Some of you have participated in that, and if we can help you with support letters or calls, feel free to call on us anytime. I enjoy doing that. And, you know, I've been there long enough now where I have a relationship with most of the people who make the decisions on these grants, and I'm happy to use that influence on behalf of the city of Jamestown. And I realize you have a crowd here, and I seriously doubt that most, if any of them, came to hear me talk tonight. There's other issues that I'm sure are important to you, and so unless you have questions for me, I'm just going to sit down and listen, if that's all right. Because I think sometimes it's better to listen than to talk. Madam Mayor, do you have any questions for me, or have any questions for me?
I would just like to say we really appreciate receiving the CDBG grant, and we are so thankful that it's come our way at a good time, and it's to continue to rehab, and we thank you very much for that.
Well, you're welcome. Like I said, I was glad to support it. I'd appropriate the money for it and then support your application. But as I said, Mayor, you and the council and your staff have put all of this together to deserve the credit, because you had a very professional application in a very competitive field this year, and that's why you were selected. So my hats off to you guys.
We had a good engineer and a good
Yeah.
grant writer that helped us along the way too.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Well, I'll stick around if you'll let me so I can listen, and any way I can help you, call on me anytime. You know, I came out of local government. I was a county, well, they called them county executive back then. I think they call them mayors now, but I was a county executive down in Roane County for 24 years. So I know how local government works. I worked very closely with the cities then, and so if I can help you in any way, that's my job. So don't hesitate to call on me. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mhm. This back.
Okay, is there any grievances from the audience and citizens?
Yes, I've got two questions. Why are so many city employees exiting their position? And when are you gonna get started on the slum ordinance again?
The employees, my understanding from everything that they say, that it has nothing to do with us, that it is mainly that they are going for better jobs, they're paying better money. That's what they tell us. That's all I can tell you on that. And slum ordinance, we'll take a look at it.
I might help you a little, Mayor. You know, the planner, we just started to have a vote on that, and then the new council got seated, And he didn't feel it was fair to throw that on a brand-new council right out of the chute. So that's why that it's been, he's trying to bring them along, educate them before, he didn't want them trying to vote on something they totally didn't understand, and that's what's going on with the slum ordinance.
But we can revive it.
Oh, it's still going along, he just didn't feel it was fair to them to put them in that position to vote on something that might be arbitrary to some people, so they had a good chance to research it and understand what was going on with it. So it just kinda got slowed down some.
Okay. And that's Bob Lane, our city inspector, that just gave that answer, so thank you for asking the question. Is there anyone else?
If you've not seen it, I'd encourage the council to go down and take a look at it, because it's a super nice truck, so. And that's about all I have.
Okay, they're doing we're gonna do a patch job down behind the courthouse, and then that's gonna be completely done. There's one like rectangle there that, was the entrance to the old jail. And so we've got to get that filled in, and then it's done. Done deal down there behind the courthouse. And, our city engineer, thank you, Steve, by the way. I like for each one of them to give the reports, because they know they're out there on the job, they know exactly what's going on, and so that's why I like to ask Steve to help give that report, the mayor's report. All right, city engineer report, Tom Bennett.
Mayor, I've got two items, both of which are under old business, and so it's all right, I'll just wait till we get to those two
Okay,
items.
that will be good, that's fine.
Thank you.
City building inspector,
I've got two or three things, Mayor. I'll stand up where you can see me in my back row here. The Beatty apartment complex rehab project is still going on. They're building an addition on some of the, for another office, and rehabbing some more of the apartments. We also have a cell tower site that is getting ready to build a cell tower up here on Stewart. And the council's probably gonna see some stuff come in front of them on cell towers. We currently have no ordinances dealing with cell towers. And these things are springing up everywhere. And most people don't wanna live in the shadow of one, I know I wouldn't. So we're trying to get some regulations together. The city planner and I are working on that now. We're gonna try to have something, hopefully maybe close to next month at the planning commission meeting, that will be brought to the council, will be amended, maybe an amendment to an ordinance or another ordinance trying to deal with cell towers. And we've got some more stuff that's on the back burner I can't talk about, but it'd be good for Jamestown. It's coming on down the pike a little bit. That's all I have.
excuse me, Bob, I need to let you answer something here, because we received a letter from Best Friends,
Okay.
and they're wanting a clarification, correction. This is to the whole council. And what it says is, on August the 1st, 2017, there was a joint meeting between the city of Jamestown, which included Mayor Darlene Davis, Steve McCoy, Director of Public Works, Tom Bennett, city engineer, and Bob Lane, building inspector, and officers and members of Best Friends Sanctuary. At that meeting, Bob Lane spoke to the sewer issues at the Best Friends Sanctuary facility located at 346 Volunteer Drive. And Bob Lane reported results of a neighbor's well water analysis as being contaminated with dog feces from the Best Friends Sanctuary shelter. On Monday, November the 6th, 2017, a representative from Best Friends Sanctuary contacted Bob Lane to obtain a copy of the well water report that the citizen had done. They were told by Bob Lane that, quote, "I've never seen the report, I just reported what was told to me." So Bob Lane gave results of a report that he hadn't even seen. On Monday, November 6, 2017, Best Friends received a copy of the well water analysis and contacted the lab that did the test and was told that the results were good. The less than 1 result of E. coli is an amount not detectable, and the 68 on the coliform, which results in all water, is a very low reading and is of little to no concern. The man at the lab actually said, "This is a good report and I would drink the water." This analysis has also was also confirmed by our local Fentress County Health Department. The false statements made against Best Friends should be withdrawn and corrected. This false report gives a bad look to Best Friends, when in reality none of this was true. Best Friends is working hard every day to assist the abandoned, abused, neglected dogs and puppies of this county, and does not deserve to be presented in a negative manner such as this report. The public needs to know the results of this accurate report that is being spread in the county due to results that were reported wrong. And I'll just pass this down through there. And this is the report that you all can look at. And this is the meeting minutes of Tuesday, August the 1st of Best Friends Sanctuary, where we were present. Myself and Bob
And it was, and that lady called me and, and complained, and her exact quote was that she had had her water tested, and it come back with feces in it, and she thought it was coming from Best Friends. And I advised her that I couldn't believe she was on a well, and I advised her to get on the domestic water system and not be trying to drink out of a well. The days of drinking out of a well is pretty much over due to a lot of things. But she was adamant that that Best Friends had contaminated her well, and that was her complaint to me that night. She called me several times complaining about it. Said she took the water. She first called me and asked me, "Where do you take your water to get it tested?" And I said, "Well, a lot of people go to the health department, and they'll do a free water test for you." And I imagine that's probably what she done. And then she's the one that come back and told me that the water tested had bacteria in it. It had feces in it. And I advised her it could even be from her own septic tank because she's not on sewer. And at that time, but now that was her complaint, and it was given to me several times by her. I never did see the report. She didn't have to produce it. Anybody can make a complaint about anything, and I've got to kind of investigate it if it's something that falls in my category. What prompted me to say that was the fact that we went down there and there was 3 discharge points of sewage being pushed out on property that did not belong to Best Friends, that was a cesspool in 3 places. To be putting out, the state was actually after them at that time, and they had been a letter written to them, I think. Some people came out of, one out of Cookville, one out of Byrdstown, and had filed a complaint against them at that time. And the administrator of the environmental deal out of Cookville had called me and told me at that time that she was going to give them 30 days notice verbally to correct the problem. And myself, the engineer, and Steve did go down there, and there was a problem. There was 3 discharges out on top of the ground that was certainly a mess. Was it contaminating anybody's wells? I don't know that for sure, but I know they're probably aggravated that there was an accusation made about the well. I didn't make it. The lady made it, but there was a problem down there. There's no question about that. I don't think there's any denying that. The state actually was about to take action against them, and something had to be done. And And it was within the city's jurisdiction, so we went down there, and I think it's solved at this time. I think there's gonna be a resolution to it, but, you know, that ain't gonna change what's going on down there about who said what. The fact of the matter was, we had a problem, we had to deal with it.
But the report of feces is not correct.
That's what, well, I was told it was, and all I've got
But you
is,
reported it in a public meeting that it was
I
correct.
repeated what she said, yes.
In a public meeting that
Yes,
was what,
yes. I repeated that I'd had a complaint, and I acknowledged that that complaint was that, yes. And that's what I was told.
here's a copy of the report. What is coliform?
Chloroform?
Coliform.
Well, it's of little or no concern, whatever it is, coliform. It's probably some bacteria. 68 Virgo, little or no concern. He would drink the water to a good report. So, obviously, that wasn't what was causing the problem, but I really don't know exactly where her well is in relation to Best Friends. But this, you know, this is good and great. You can jump on this, but this don't change what was going on down there. There was a serious problem down there, and we was discharging sewage 3 places on top of the ground. And that's what brought the meeting, and that's what.
That wasn't questioned in their letter, it was just the statement about
Yeah,
the fecal
well,
material.
you'd need to take this letter back to the lady that made the accusation. That she's the one said she had the water tested and it come back with E.
It was
coli.
reported to us by you, so that's.
Well, I
where
just
it's
repeated
ended up.
what she had, I repeated what the complaint was.
Thank you very much. Okay. City Attorney's report.
So for this month, I am working on some requests by the Federal Aviation Administration, just some things regarding the airport. Nothing of concern, just some basic compliance things that we're working on, reviewing easements and that kind of thing. They revolve around the airport. And so that's it for me this month.
All right, we're into old business, and the first thing on the agenda is the change order number 2, Wilder Highway Natural Gas Project, a deduction of $2,300. And the second thing is wastewater treatment plant, influent pump station, recommendation of the board. So this is where Tom is on this
Sure,
plan.
yes.
Well,
Well, good evening, and a couple items for discussion would be starting with the final adjusting change order, as we would call it, for the Wilder natural gas regulator station. That, if you've been by there and noticed that the station has been put in the ground, and it's at this point awaiting the connection to the high pressure side of the Jamestown natural gas, which the city is working on. So what you have before you would be a final change order to the contractor that did the fabrication and the delivery of that station. And that's a total of $2,300 deduction, which brings the final contract value to $90,836. And so that would be something I'd recommend that you take action on to adjust that contract amount. And I would recommend approval of change order number 2 to DM Services LLC.
okay, do we need to do these one at a time?
I would, yes.
Okay, all right. So do I have a motion to approve the change order?
Sorry.
Do I have a
I'll make a
motion?
motion.
Okay, motion been made by Councilwoman Vanessa Matthews, and who seconded? All right, Councilman Charles Cooper seconded. Do I hear any discussion? No discussion, so do a roll call vote, please.
Lyndon Bain,
4.
Charles Cooper, Becky Duncan,
For,
Vanessa Matthews, Elizabeth Pendergrass, all 4, none against.
Moving
Okay,
on, yes, sir.
and thank y'all for that. That's always, I consider it a success when we finish under budget and ahead of schedule, and so that's always the goal. We're not always, it's not always possible, but in this case, that project, that is the case. So we'll put that one in the record books. The next item for discussion would be the, what we call the wastewater treatment plant influent pump station Phase 1 improvements, which is better known as the grinder project to install a grinder into the main city pumping station. You received 2 bids for that project. The first one for $117,900 from J.S. Herron. The second for $126,000 from W&O Construction. The J.S. Herron has completed work up here before. They just completed the Woodlawn Pump Station. I've also contacted them to confirm everything's good related to their bid. They don't have any withdrawals or otherwise, and so I think at this point my recommendation would be to suggest a recommendation award to J.S. Herron, who is the lowest bidder for this project, for that project. And certainly would welcome further discussion, even following what we discussed in the workshop as well.
Okay, do I have a motion on awarding the bid to J.S. Herron Company, Athens, Tennessee, for $117,900?
I make the motion.
Okay, motion's been made by Councilman Baines. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Councilman Cooper. And do I hear any discussion? No discussion, so roll call vote, please.
Lyndon Baines.
4.
Charles Cooper.
4.
Becky Duncan.
4.
Vanessa Matthews.
4.
Elizabeth Pendergrass. All 4, none against.
Motion carries. Okay, the next thing on the agenda under old business is the, to hire, we have a list of hirees. Okay, you have a list of new hires. Those, do you wish me to read them out loud? Or- No? Not all of them.
There's only 2 that has, which they were emergency hires. That we had to do for 30 days, which is on here to recommend them as full-time for the sewer and water. They're working.
Okay. Fine. It's the rest of the board for me to read them out. All righty. Okay, sewer plant, Harlan Lampert, Zach Pennicott. Street department, Patty Beatty, Randy Darrow, John Wilson. Water plant, now we have 2 here that were emergency hires, so they've been already working on 30 days emergency, so, I need approval to be full-time, so. Okay, water plant is, Christopher Tomlinson, Cody Campbell, those are the 2 emergency hires. Brandon Cook and Travis Jackson. Gas department, Chris Miller as meter reader. So, do I hear a motion on the floor to hire these people?
I make the motion to hire.
Motion's been made by Charles Cooper to hire.
I
Do I hear a
second.
second? Second by Councilman Baines. Do I hear any discussion? No discussion, motion carries. Yes, roll call vote. I'm sorry, got ahead of myself.
Lyndon Baines.
Four.
Charles Cooper.
Four.
Becky Duncan.
4.
Denise Matthews.
4.
Elizabeth Pendergrass. All four, none against.
Motion carries. Okay, the next thing on the agenda under old business is the budget amendments. And the community center renovation and the new sewer sludge truck, they were on last year's, the money was on last year's budget, so we've had to move them on up into this year's budget, so therefore, they have to be added. So do we have to do these one at a time?
We can do them together,
Do
they're
them together?
amendment, yeah.
Okay. And then one of them is where the budget, revision of the original budget 17-18 due to the Excel spreadsheet calculation errors. And this, of course, has to be added, amended to, the budget has to be amended and approved by the board. So do I hear a motion to approve these two amendments to the budget?
I make a motion to approve it.
Okay, motion's been made to approve by Councilman Cooper. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Duncan, and roll call, please. No, is there any discussion? No discussion, roll call, please.
Lyndon Baines.
Four.
Charles Cooper.
Four.
Becky Duncan.
4.
Denise Matthews.
4.
Elizabeth Pendergrass.
4.
All four, none against.
Motion carries. The next thing on the agenda is approval of Christmas bonuses for the employees. And we talked about in the workshop what it was, and you chose to just do it for this year. If the employees did not get a raise, and then we'll take a look at, this next year we intend on looking at it and giving a raise next year, and you'll decide then, we'll readdress this on the Christmas bonuses, so how you would like to do that. So do I hear a motion to approve the Christmas bonus?
I make a motion.
Okay, motion to approve by Councilman Baines. Do I hear a second? Second by Councilman Cooper. Do I hear any discussion?
Can I have you guys verify
What we're
what,
doing.
how you're doing it? Is it the three-year, anyone that's been here 3 years and over? Is that,
They need to be here at least 3 years in order to receive that, correct? Is that what we agreed upon?
Yes.
okay.
Yeah,
That's what
I
we
think that's what you
For instance, if someone's been here 6 months or a year, the qualifications, you gotta be here at least 3 years to start receiving that
Per,
for a year.
per year. Okay, also, the part-time that's been here that works for us yearly, that we've got like 2 or 3, can I get that in the motion that they can have the 25?
I think so. I'll say so. It's up to everybody else, but I think so.
Added.
Is there any
they'll receive that at which month? Can
In
you clarify that, when they get that?
Well,
In December,
the first week or second week, however you want to put it in there.
yeah, I'd say the first week of December. Is that all right with everybody else, first week of December? Yeah, true.
First full week of December.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me ask this question, do we need to go back on the, restate this and vote?
Yeah, I was trying to scribble as we was going to see before it. So,
Okay, but what I'm saying is that we didn't clarify
Right.
that's one.
in the motion.
Okay.
So, we will,
Just state
Thank
the
you.
motion, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
okay.
I was trying to follow
What did you call it, Fred?
Just state a new motion, just clarify the original motion, and start all over.
Okay, so how do we,
So you need to read it, yes, right? You need to
On a
read it.
motion? Yeah.
okay, this is a new motion.
A
Okay.
motion to give all employees a Christmas bonus with starting at 3 years per year as they've been here.
Right.
Up to 3 years, it'll be the $50. Part-time employees that's been here that a year or more, 25.
Okay, before I say anything about the motion, do we have to get rid of the other motion?
You can, if you want to let it fail, vote on it and let it fail for lack of clarity.
Okay, so that's what I think we need to do, is vote on the first motion.
It's already been first and second, so just take a roll call vote on
Okay.
The motion had been,
it. It wasn't clear enough, so just,
Before,
gonna vote on
before
it
I did
for
the roll
lack-
call vote, I didn't do that, so, you want to fail this one?
Just
And
the
then-
motion with it just saying bonuses, right?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay.
So, all we have to do is do a roll call vote on that, and you say nay on it, and then we will restate the new motion. Okay? So, roll call vote on the first motion.
Lyndon Baines,
Against.
Charles Cooper.
Yeah.
Becky Duncan,
against,
Vanessa Matthews,
against.
Elizabeth Pendergrass.
Against.
Motion fails.
So, motion failed. All right, now, say the new motion that they're going to vote on.
Okay. A motion to give the employees a Christmas bonus to all employees that's been here 3 years or more. It will be times the years they've been here, up to a cap of 20 years, which would be $1,000. Plus, the part-time employees would get a $25 bonus, the ones that's been here a year or more for us.
And to be paid the first week
Yeah,
of
first week.
December.
To be paid first full week of December.
Do I hear a motion to that effect?
I made the motion.
Motion's been made by Councilman Baines, seconded by Councilman Cooper. Do I hear any discussion?
If you do not get a Christmas bonus if you have not been here for you have to be here for 3 years to get a bonus.
No,
No.
that, They get a $50 bonus
Up to 3
up
years.
to 3 years, yes.
And that is net or gross?
That's gross.
Any more discussion? Okay, roll call vote.
Lyndon Baines,
For.
Charles Cooper, Becky Duncan,
Four.
Denise Matthews,
Four.
Elizabeth Pendergrass, all for, none against.
Motion carries. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the financial statements and for October the 1st through October the 31st, 2017. General fund, $512,614. Water and sewer fund, $1,030,444.41. Natural gas fund, $1,397,965.37. And that brings us to a total of $2,941,023.78. Do I hear a motion to approve the financial?
I'll make that motion.
I'll take it.
Motion made by Councilwoman Duncan and seconded by Councilwoman Cooper. Do I hear any discussion? No discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Lyndon Baines,
For.
Charles Cooper,
For it.
Becky Duncan,
Four.
Denise Matthews,
Four.
Elizabeth Pendergrass, all for, none against.
Motion carries. Okay, and approval of the monthly bills, the amount of the monthly bills, and this does not include the natural gas bill. All bills, 500. It does, oh, this does include the natural gas bill. All right. All bills are $585,420.73. Do I hear a motion to approve the monthly bills?
I make a motion to approve it.
Motion's been made by Councilman Cooper. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councilman Baines. Do I hear any discussion? No discussion, roll call vote, please.
Lyndon Baines,
For.
Charles Cooper,
For it.
Becky Duncan,
Four.
Denise Matthews,
Four.
Elizabeth Pendergrass,
For it.
all for, none against.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion's been made by Councilwoman Matthews and seconded by who? Seconded by Charles. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.